Well, hello there, friends and family. So good to see you again tonight here on Saturday, February, what, the 15th, 2025. And I thought since I finally got done with all my chores and cleaning up and doing everything, and I hadn't talked to you in a while, I thought I'd come on and talk to you about something I think about from time to time. And what might that be? Oh, and as always, remember, you're always welcome. We're so glad you stopped by, even though you forgot to knock and got by the kitty crew. So yeah, it's getting late in the night, and this is normally when I wind down and I think about things. And one thing I've been thinking about here quite a lot is, what bothers me. In essence, what do I fear? And I'd like to ask you that very same question. What is your greatest fear right now as you're watching this? Is it a fear of snakes, fear of heights, fear of the water, fear of driving? Or maybe it's something much larger than that. Maybe it's much larger and closer to home. And I wanted to share with you what my greatest fear is pretty much most of my life. No, at least the latter part of it. And you might think, well, that's the fear of my health, because I've been struggling with that. There's no doubt. But it's not the fear of my health. It's better sometimes. It's worse sometimes. Yeah, I have my conditions like all of you. But my greatest fear is the fear that something will happen. Not to me. To my children. Or my grandchildren. Or one of my other friends and family. Yeah, that's my greatest fear. I fear for them, not for me. And granted, I am a man of faith. I do believe and know God is true. And I know He works us all into His greater plan. But I also know, after going through now nearly 69 years of life, that the plan and the journey He lays before us is not always the plan we would choose for ourselves. And we don't often know why. Why should we go down through a path of turmoil and misery sometimes? And why in other times is it a much brighter and cheery road? Only He knows. Yeah, I fear for my children and my grandchildren, my family, and my friends. I wouldn't want anything to happen to them. And part of that fear is, especially as we get older, is, the years count down. How many more years do we got before we're not around? And that was part of starting this YouTube channel, and has always been the reason I continue it. It's for my children, my grandchildren, my friends and family, which now many of you are. So yeah, that's my biggest fear for them. Something will happen to them medically, health-wise, accidentally, financially. The list goes on and on. I don't fear for all that for me, because basically I've always been able to find a way out for myself. And when they were here and growing up, I always made sure they had what they needed. Maybe not what all they wanted, but I definitely had the needs covered. And sometimes that's all you can do. But I wanted to come on tonight and see what your greatest fears were. Maybe they're like mine. We also fear, and I know I have throughout my life, change. Things get good, everything's rolling along, couldn't ask for any better life, and then change pops up. And I admit it, you're going to wonder, what's going to happen now? Is it for the best or for the worst? So change, we all, in a way, when we sit down and actually think about it, we do fear change. I mean, like my situation now. Yeah, even though I didn't dread it, the kids growing up and leaving, yeah, I worried about that. Maybe it's better to say I worried about it rather than I feared it, because you know it's going to happen. I worried about how it would be. And then as I got older, as sometimes happens, you lose a spouse, and then you're all alone. The kids are gone. You're all alone. So loneliness, yeah, that can be a fear too. And I've thought about that. But I've made do. And one that haunted me for most of my working life and career, and maybe it did you too, or maybe it was in relationships, friendships, associations, and that was the fear of failure. Nobody likes to fail. And I think most everybody, maybe I'm wrong, that's why I'm talking to y'all, is we all have in that back of our head, that fear of failure too. I think we do. But you'll let me know in the comments below the video. And it could be in our workplace, in a relationship, friendship, a hobby, sports. Yeah, nobody likes to be a loser. And everybody loves being a winner, don't we all? But another one that I was thinking about the other night is rejection. Everybody wants to be liked. Everybody wants to be popular. I say everybody, but I would say the vast majority of people want to feel accepted, included. Yeah. In whatever they're doing, their families, their friendships, what have you. Activities. Nobody wants to be the person, back when we were all in school, where you'd be picking for teams, whether it was for dodgeball, baseball, softball, basketball, football, whether it was at school or out in the backyard. Nobody wanted to be that last person that either team really didn't want, right? And there always was a last person. But then we also fear or worry about uncertainty. And that's something that I've been guilty of too. And it takes so many, manifestations. The uncertainty of food, money, jobs, health, uncertainty and how things will work out. That's a big one. And maybe it is for you too. We're living in uncertain times now. And we have been for quite some time. I don't know what tomorrow will bring. I never do. That's why, since my retirement, I really don't plan what's going to happen tomorrow. I'm just glad I wake up. That's the best I can do. And this gets back to, the fear of something happening to my children. It's the bigger fear. Something bad will happen. And boy, that one includes, we could talk for hours on all the bad things that can happen to us. I mean, I could head out tomorrow, jump in Alice to go to Superfoods and be in an accident. Yeah. There could be a forest fire 2 blocks down in the big woods. My neighborhood might not be here anymore. I don't got to worry about the job loss, but I do have some concerns that something may happen to my Social Security or my secondary income, YouTube, which I rely on more and more. Because of another worry, when will inflation ever stop? You see, that's uncertainty. And maybe y'all never sat down and actually taken a pen and paper and wrote down what you fear and what you worry about. And then one that I admit, this goes all the way back to school and then all through life. And that's being judged by others. Yeah. By your friends, your family, your mom and dad, your spouse. Nobody likes to be judged, do they? Especially not by a court of law. But we all do judge, and we all are judged. But not only by our friends and family and associates. Unfortunately, the legal system, if you go there. But remember, we're all judged by God. And that's the most important one to worry about. But then there's the fear of inadequacy. You might wonder what that is. And I think we all have shared that many moments in our lives. And that's when we feel we're just not good enough, whether it's in our job, a relationship, or what have you, or personally. You know, that keeping up with the Jones, that's sort of a part of that fear of inadequacy. You know, we look down the street, they got new cars, nicer house. You go down for a dinner party, all better furniture, all kinds of stuff. Yeah, and for many, they feel inadequate. And people do fear inadequacy. That's what drives people to keep up with the Joneses, whether it's professionally or personally. I gave that up a long time ago. Just do the best I can. And that's all you can do at the end of the day when you turn the lights off. Can't worry about it no more. And I guess the greatest one of what I'm calling the broad categories is the loss of freedom. And I've watched that loss that I've worried about since I was a youth deteriorate over my entire lifetime. I mean, it's gotten to the point now you can't do anything without a permit, a license, pay a fee, pay a subscription. You can't go here, can't go there. I mean, when you sit down and think about it, just how free are we really? But then there's all those other fears we have. It gets back to fear of snakes, fear of heights, fear of water. Oh, and there's so many more. Now, I don't have any of those fears. I do respect snakes. I don't fear animals. I respect them. I don't fear heights, but I'm knowledgeable and take all precautions. And I know my limitations. And that's another fear. The fear that we personally or physically are facing limitations, especially as we grow old. We don't run as fast. We can't walk as long. We can't lift as much. Sometimes I can't get a jar lid off. Yeah, I get frustrated. And we all fear that coming down the road. And knowing it doesn't get any better in the days to come. So yeah, that's what I wanted to come on here and get your ideas on what, I guess, your fears and what you worry about too when the lights turn low. So hey, I'm going to get a cup of tea, go on in. Of course, I'm going to edit this video. And tomorrow, hopefully, I'll read your comments. Maybe some of you will share so we can all learn and go forward. So yeah, I'm tired. Gracie's tired. She's over there clawing on her bed. She's ready to go to bed. And it won't be long before I am too. But y'all, I hope y'all had a happy Valentine's Day with your significant other or your spouse or friend and family member too. And as always, until we see you on that next episode of Mr. Tom's Neighborhood, y'all take care. Stay safe out there. May God bless you all as you bless those in your lives. Goodbye from now. From me and the kitty crew. You know we love y'all. Good night. Okay, come on, Grayson. It's time to get ready for bed. Papa's got to go wash up and get changed.